You can call me Mystic Mike because I predict these things.
Chase Hooper takes on Jim Miller this Saturday at UFC 314. And Chase Hooper's looking to get another win over a UFC legend. Jim Miller, the man, the myth, the legend, been in the UFC for forever. Made his UFC debut back in 2008. So, 17 years later, still getting after it. Still looking really good, coming off of a win over Damon Jackson by first round submission. Chase Hooper, 16 years younger than Jim Miller. He's 25. Very long and rangy for the division. 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. Jim Miller, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. So going to be a little bit taller, have a 3-inch reach advantage. And I think that's going to serve him well in the striking in this fight. Chase Hooper, fresh off of a dominating win over Clay Guida, who is, primarily a wrestler for the most part. So very impressive how he was able to handle him on the ground. Very fluid transitions, was able to get the armbar in the first round. Before that, Vakašlev Boršev, very good striker. I didn't think Chase Hooper stood a chance striking with this guy. I thought he was going to be, shooting for takedowns immediately, but he was able to drop him in round 1. And then round 2 got the Darce choke. Before that, chokes out Jordan Levitt. Nick Fiore got really beat up by Steve Garcia, which wasn't a great look, but that was what he's very young, 22 years old in his career, and Steve Garcia is an absolute savage. So Chase Hooper, he's looked really good over his last 4 fights. He's improving drastically every time we see him. He's only 25 years old. He's really building into his 6'1" frame. I don't imagine he'll be at lightweight maybe for his entire career. Maybe eventually he'll move up because he looks thicker and more muscled up every time we see him. Jim Miller, on the other hand, he's 41 years old, but he's still putting on really good performances. I know he lost to Bobby Green, got kind of beat up, lost to Alexander Hernandez, but still having, good performances and finishing guys in the UFC. It's just crazy, but I feel like Chase Hooper gets this one done, though. Jim Miller, he's super gritty, tons of UFC experience, but I just think he's going to be outmatched in this one. He's always been a very high-level black belt, can catch guillotines, catch you from anywhere. I picked him to beat Damon Jackson just because I felt like he could out-scramble him and catch him in transitions, and that's what he did. But I don't think he's going to catch Chase Hooper sleeping on the ground, and I don't think he's going to have the reach or just the power and the speed that he used to have to be able to hurt Chase Hooper, who's been looking really good on the feet. Like I said, he was looking crispy against Vakašlev Boršev, and he's only going to be getting better. He's going to be the bigger guy, the younger guy by 16 years, not even in his prime yet, going to be the one who's drastically improving every time we see him in the octagon, whereas Jim Miller, he's only going to be kind of slowly going downhill. So I got to go with Chase Hooper, just as high level on the ground, I would say, than Jim Miller, and has a lot more momentum as of right now. Hasn't lost since October of 2022 against Steve Garcia. 3 finishes in a row against really good competition, and I think he gets this one done over Jim Miller. I think he can tag Jim Miller on the feet, get him to the ground, and eventually just overwhelm him on the ground and get the submission. I think beat him in the transitions, in the scrambles, just being a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. Both of these guys recently fought in November and December, so no real ring rust for these guys at all. But Father Time is undefeated. And Jim Miller's been able to look good against Damon Jackson, who's also kind of on the other end of the mid-30s. Bobby Green, late 30s. Gabriel Benitez, same thing. He's been kind of beaten up on other old guys. Got a freebie in Jesse Butler, who shouldn't have been in the UFC. 12-6 in his career. Lost to Alexander Hernandez. I think Chase Hooper beats Alexander Hernandez. I do. Beat Donald Cerrone, another older guy, Nicholas Mota. So I just don't think he can look as good as he has as of late against such a surging and talented prospect like Chase Hooper. So I'm going to go Chase Hooper to get this one done by submission. Maybe he drops Jim Miller on the feet and then finishes it on the ground. Maybe Jim Miller shoots in, he catches with something, but I do think he'll catch him with a submission and get this one done. Thanks.